Honest. Okay, cool. Everyone, sweet. There's two things that we need to get through. One is if you have not ever met myself or come across me, my name's Adam. I work for I Donate. I do marketing there. And what we simply do as a provider, we do donation pages, right? Specifically, our thing is we like to optimize donation pages to get the most out of conversion rates and really ultimately provide the best experience for donors, right? A lot of that is going to be fueled into my insights. I'm a huge next after guy. I love the stats and the experiments they run. I pull a lot of those numbers and insights into what we talk about. I did it yesterday. We're going to do it here today. I am, let's see, an elder millennial. I love my shoes. I actually flip and collect shoes. You can't see in the background. Huge NBA guy. And I've got 3 kids, a wife, no pets because I'm allergic. And my favorite nonprofit support is To Write Love on Her Arms. They have such a fantastic monthly giving program. Y'all got to check it out. They did such a great job branding that program. I'm part of it. They do such a great job with monthly emails, engagement from a supporter standpoint. It's what I choose to model or want to model some of the work I'm doing with some other nonprofits. I said, To Write Love on Her Arms, Ella. Phenomenal work. Great website. I love it. It's like the epitome of what I want to be as a marketer when I grow up too, from that perspective. Okay, with that, yes, brand new kid. Thank you, Kat. Miles is not even 2 months old. Somehow rolling over. He's smiling now. He's actually starting to be productive. So we're out of that newborn phase and into now the little baby phase. So it's fantastic. And thank you for the hat. I love this too. Okay, you guys, agenda. This may move a little fast. So I'm banking on this is going to be recorded. You also have access to me after this for any questions. I also have the slide deck going on LinkedIn, literally at 4 o'clock, very pre-scheduled. So we're good to rock. Here's what we're covering today. This is probably the most tactical look on how to use ChatGPT specifically, but applies to all AI tools and how to get our donation pages up and running, optimized and running where they should be, right? Talking about value prop, talking about conversion rate optimization or donors converting on your donation page, jumpstarting A/B testing. It's a big part of what I'm passionate about and what I have a lot of experience within, as well as monthly giving campaigns, because there is some science to the whole thing of running these campaigns, but where do you start? That's what we're talking about. Each of these points are going to have associated prompts that you could take home, or I've done the hard work for you. And I'll talk about how that's going to help you in just a second. But let's start off with a disclaimer. And yes, by all means, I understand this is kind of silly, but it's worth noting. AI is not the answer. Don't let anyone else tell you that it is. It is the equivalent of what you put in is what you're going to get out, right? You put junk in or you ask it to make something, you're going to sound generic. You're going to sound canned, soulless, if you will, and it's not going to be right. So the value in this is doing the hard work first. Drop that hard work in. I'm going to talk about how to do that hard work to arm yourselves with the best output possible, and that is where the magic lies. I'm going to tell you a quick story. My wife just started playing Mahjong a couple months ago. Is that the game from like the 90s on our old Windows 95, right? You probably remember clicking tiles, no idea what I was doing. She said, "Hey, you want to play?" And I said, "Absolutely." No idea what I was doing. I actually GPT'd how to play and like some strategy. Yes, the cutest tiles. I just bought Mish Mahjong, I think, Amber, for my wife. It's like the cowgirl style. It's crazy. I love them though. And I actually took her 2 out of my first 3 games because I gave a very specific prompt. And that is the equivalent of what we're going to cover, in my opinion, today, right? But what tools do I use? Go at your own pace, right? You don't have to go pay X amount of money to get access. ChatGPT is great. It's got great free usage. There's a lot of other tools. Claude, Perplexity is when I just started messing around with more for research. Like there's so many applications. Each has its own strengths. Each has its own weaknesses. I'm not going to tell you which one to use. I just happened to got really good with ChatGPT very quickly. And that's what I use. It's what we'll use here. A lot of these same concepts are being able to be applied across the board, right? Gets me 90% of the way there. And the rest of the 10%, I've got really good at just faking it through. So Grok is new and great. It's like every week there is a new tool. I cannot keep up. I give up. I stick to what I'm really good at, and I'll add in as I get going, right? Okay, there's a disclaimer out of this one. So as we rock, This is how I rock ChatGPT. Now, I just started working with Veterans Without Orders, a fantastic nonprofit that actually provides clean water to communities across the world that don't have access to clean water. And within that, they have veterans help and go and serve in different capacities, right? Phenomenal. I'm so excited. I'm 2 weeks in. And first thing I did, I went and made a project within ChatGPT. And if you have a paid subscription, you know exactly what this is. Basically allows me to create a single source where I can upload resource documents. I can set the tone and voice. I can keep track of all of my chats about the project in one simple place. It's amazing, y'all. I'm going to talk about some of the ways I build or think about this too as we go through. This is how I use it. Is it the only way? Absolutely not. It always comes with the "it depends" tag, but so you get a little insight into how I rock it. And if you really want to get really nerdy and deep into it with what I have set up, find me afterwards. I'll be happy to spend 30 minutes and let you kind of run through kind of how I approach things. The end result, though, is phenomenal. And how this actually looks in real life is we're going to start with the value prop, because honestly, words are hard. And it's even harder if you have to sit there and stare at a screen for hours at a time. I, at one point, thought I was going to be an English major. Then I realized how boring grading papers would be as a professor for years. And now, look, here am I. I'm creating content. But with ChatGPT, I'm able to think about, hey, here's my general list of all this hard work that I've done. You think about your mission positioning and your messaging, your mission brand voice, key stories from supporters or from people you've impacted with your mission. All that's in text that can be used then to facilitate the output. And what I'm concerned about is the value proposition on donation page. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it can be a chunk of text on certain donation pages or pop-up forms where you can either see at the top, where the first thing you see, or on the side if you have a pop-up. And it just simply states what your mission is, why you're unique typically, how the money is impacting things in terms of what you're able to do with your mission, and then a simple call to action, right? It encourages people and kind of builds that trust from the get-go. And what this actually ends up doing, you can kind of see an image there, I'm clicking behind myself already, is what this looks like, really. I'm using a screenshot from my donate just to kind of keep it simple with some general copy. But again, why the cause? Why now? Why me? Keep it simple. Helps the donor to feel comfort, helps them to act. There's statistical relevance and statistics behind that actually increases conversion percentage. It's a great thing to rock, right? But as we go through, how in the world do I start this? So what I have on screen here is an example prompt. Now, this is super basic, super generic, right? I'm going to tag this with "it depends" because there's so much variance that can go into very mission-specific needs. Some missions may have their brand work already done. Awesome. Some may have their positioning or unique attributes about their nonprofits. Or in fact, maybe they already have mapped out, hey, $50 actually makes this impact on a donation. All of that can be easily tossed into this, right? I'm going to show you how in a second, but this is, if you're just starting with any GPT tool or any AI tool, right? Start with this. Grab a copy of this and start playing with it. What this is going to allow you to do is at least have a base, get moving. I promise you it's not that scary. For the most part, it gets kind of weird if you let it. But what this does is sets a baseline, and then you can tweak and tweak and tweak. You got to have patience. Or, look at this. So, in my spare time, and by spare time I mean during the hours that I just don't want to write more emails or social media copy or anything else, I create these custom GPTs. Within this, it actually will walk you through all of these steps bit by bit. So thankfully, you don't have to worry about, hey, I don't even know where to start writing a prompt. I don't need to be a prompt engineer. Yes, that is actually a thing now. So this has been designed. I've been testing this with some good pals of mine over the last couple of months to kind of fine tune this. It's still not right. And do me a favor, y'all, drop a confetti burst. I'll drop the link to what I'm calling ID Labs right now. Go there. There's no emails needed. Yeah, it's hard to see. I know it's really hard to fit, but if you go to ID Labs and just drop the link, Lena, there's actually ungated resources. All of the GPTs I'm talking about here are going to be there. They're not gated, so I don't need your email. Cool. But what we're doing is giving that away as much as we can. This is also going to play into how we give away things at the very end of this. So you're starting to see some connective weaves here. But what this does, it walks you through inputting things like your brand mission, your brand voice, your style guidelines, maybe some example copy, and it's going to start to pull in and help you to create either a long form or a short form impact statement, or if the longer value proposition, right? It's kind of scary, and this has nothing to do with me, I promise you, but it's kind of scary how good it is. What you can see here, my screen cap went down a little bit, but let me see if I could, what this actually would show if this wasn't moved over is the fact that it pumped out on brand copy. Below that fold, you start to see it where it cut off on accident, the value dollars of what you could actually attain to. Hey, for this mission, again, going back to Veterans Without Borders, $50 gets one family clean water for the rest of their life. Like, how phenomenal is that? If you didn't know that, you think, oh, cool, I'm just going to donate $5, $10. And it's not about the upsell. Hey, Megan, I see in there, value props, everything. Exactly. It's not about the upsell. It's about giving context and letting the donor decide, and what I'm planting my flag in as donor-based marketing, right? It's nothing revolutionary. All it is we're giving donors or potential donors the option to select how they want to support our missions, right? All right. I love it. Again, it's in that link. It does not have to be the paid version to use these tools, right? Last I checked, it was free. When you use it, I think it has some limitations when it comes to be able to upload potentially documents, but if you copy and paste that in, then you should be good to go from that perspective. Okay. So let's talk about conversion percentage. And what this is for me, I live and breathe donation pages, conversion rate optimization, or CRO, as we get really nerdy. But all it is just kind of the science behind what makes donors commit to donating on your donation page, and then what's the statistical tracking of the number of unique visitors to the amount of people who actually donate, right? And then there's some fun math. We'll get into that in a second. Why this is important to track and understand, regardless of the size of the nonprofit, it helps to give you a baseline and understand your performance. And then as you make changes, and we'll touch on A/B testing as we go in a few slides, but like, you make changes, you want to be able to celebrate that. Even a 1% jump is a huge jump when you compound that over a year, right? That starts with knowing where your baseline is and then going from there. So with that, let's cover those. And again, this is incredibly maybe baseline standard for some people here sometime, and this might be the first time someone has ever seen this. Either way, simple math, right? Thankfully, donations divided by unique visitors times 100 gets you a conversion percentage. Typically, according to Next After research, a baseline expectation is about 11 to 13%, all the way up to 19% is a good baseline benchmark performing donation page. High performing above 20%. Like, if you're doing that, do me a favor, drop some brag moments in the chat so we can celebrate you, and then find me to tell me what you're doing, because I want to know. But that's it, right? But it's crazy that we are celebrating only 1 of 5 people converting. So we always are striving to make that next jump, right? My buddy Nathan, who just moved from Next After to Avid AI, taught me this so well, and it's ingrained in my brain. We're always looking to get that 1% better, right? Okay, how are we doing this? We could use prompt. And then again, sorry for the little small screenshot here, but this is actually an example of me using this prompt that you see here. We can copy this and put this in. But it gets you started, right? And it's going to go through, you'll have to figure out a few things on the fly and kind of put in your exact metrics to get a actual real example. Or, yes, you guessed it, I got nerdy again and went through and I put ChatGPT to work. This screenshot is actually from, again, one of the prompts or the custom GPTs I made, which you can find on ID Labs website. And this actually walk you through step by step and make it into a very easy and bite-sized aspect of things, right? It's going to ask for simple things like your number of donations over the last 30 days, how many unique visitors you've had to your donation page over the last 30 days. It'll run you through the calculations. It'll help to start you to understand. It'll actually compare you against benchmarks as well, which is pretty nifty. So if you're ever wondering, hey, I don't know if I'm doing good, I don't know compared to my peers and whatnot, this will help to guide you You can also springboard that into understanding, hey, what are some of the things I could potentially be thinking about to boost conversion, right? Again, it's one of those things where it feels like a silly tool, but as I started to Google originally, I was having a hard time finding a consistent tool that I could use and it'd be easy, right? This is it. This is born out of that because I just gave up Google searching, for a good interactive tool after about 5 or 10 minutes, right? Okay, I'm gonna pause there. I need water. Kat, was there anything? Yeah, oof, math, exactly. Not always my strong suit without my iPhone calculator. Kat, was there any good questions worth highlighting as I try and take a sip of water and catch my breath here? I'm gonna look through.
Sorry. Was having a little trouble popping up. No, I just love how people love the prompting that you've been talking about and how easy it is.
Another question too. Not really. Technology is what it is. It's kind of like a sidecar, superhero to what we're trying to do. And if you go in thinking about that, yes, if something has a free version, Kat, do you mind clicking on? Because when I tested without the free version, and it should be working, but I want to re-clarify that for everyone in the chat.
So I'm seeing that it works with the free version.
Yeah, look at me. I was right. Okay, so for everyone in the chat that was wondering, go use these tools. It's the free version. Where you get into the added benefits of like the $20 a month plan is that project stuff I was showing you at the very beginning, which becomes incredibly important. Maybe the best $20 you could spend monthly, in my opinion. I'll connect with me. I'll show you why. But it is, I kid you not, I use it for almost everything content-wise, including what you're seeing with this deck. It's cut my content creation down and refining down by nearly like 70% time. I kid you not. It's like I had a third kid and I unlocked this magic, mode of operation in my brain for some reason. Okay, cool. We are 20 minutes in. We are, I think, halfway through. Kat, I'm pacing perfectly so far. I think you are good. Anything to add before I kick you back off?
No, keep the chat coming.
Sweet. All right, y'all. Do me a favor. If you're still around, give me some of these confetti bombs on the screen. Let's just keep sure those mouses are working. Thank you. It's fueling me. Okay, cool. Third, we're rounding the back half of things now. Stepping into the A/B testing lab, y'all. This is my jam. This is what I love. If you can't see behind me, I actually have chemistry beakers behind there because I love testing so much. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to this, but hey, one of the biggest barriers to A/B testing for most nonprofits that I've talked to over the last year is just the matter of like, where in the world do we start? It seems so daunting. It seems like there's so much going on, and we don't know where to start, so we don't start. And which is tough because, again, going back to that 1% increment increase, it could be 0.5%. It does anything positive compounds over time. So here's what we're doing. Let's check this out. Real quick crash course. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about right now, all it is just using data and numbers to help us get better and make more statistically backed decisions when it comes to our donation page. And this can be applied everywhere across your website, right? But for your donation page specifically, if I want to test the color of a heading or the different copy or the CTAs, the colors of my buttons, the different layouts of my gift arrays, the values, like there's so much that goes on with this. Where do we start? How do we do it? How do we track it? It can get complex, y'all. And I love Beaker because that's how I feel most of the time when I'm locked away as a marketing team of one doing these types of things. Here's a quick prompt to get you started, regardless of what AI tool you're using, right? And this basically says, hey, like, help me. I want to start doing something. Of course, I need to take into consideration X, Y, and Z. The output above, that's a little small again, sorry, but you do have access to this deck afterwards. That's going to be kind of the base output of kind of what it starts to get into. It's good, again, it's generic, I guess, and it's passable. But if you haven't caught on to what we're doing here, there might be a better way. So check this thing out. This is a screen cap from this A/B testing GPT that I created. This one probably was the biggest one, over about a month worth of time that I put into this. And it's basically taking all of our content, a lot of Next After's content, if you're a fan of Next After, all their testing, their benchmarks, M&R benchmarks, a lot of great resources from my pal like Caroline Griffin, Caroline Bond. They helped contribute a lot of the content that provides the backbone of this. And what this does, it allows you to go anything from planning your first A/B test, understand benchmarks, get a feel for what tests you can run. So in this case, monthly giving, hey, type in what are the tests I can do to boost monthly giving? And like, it'll pump out like a handful of these. I tested this. It's great. It's really an easy button. So what I would encourage y'all to do, and thank you, Kat, for dropping that in, check it out. Granted, there's some stipulation about like, do you have the right tools to use to support this? You don't need fancy tools, which is dope. You can use a Google Slide sheet, track your changes, track the outcomes. Most donation page providers should be able to provide you with like the conversion or the number of donations, sometimes the conversion rates. That's important to track. It covers statistical relevance, which is important too. You can either do the number of people that travel to your donation page, 2,000-3,000 people, or if you have less traffic, it's over a certain amount of time or a certain number of donations. But the key is to build repeatable tests so you can quantify and verify the results, right? Also, nextafter.com, love them. This is their bread and butter, right? Go there if you want additional resources. Thank you, Kat. I go there probably once or twice a week at least. They're always adding in new tests that nonprofits have run with them. The results, what was tested, it is just a deep dive in A/B testing goodness, right? And the other thing to remember about this, one change won't cut it. So part of my passion is the understanding of like, hey, just because the first one might fail and what you expect to happen doesn't mean you stop there. It's about the continual evolution of your donation page and really fundraising as a whole. It's the small, tiny tweaks that will get you to major mission-changing moments. It's not going to happen today. May not happen. Probably won't tomorrow. But at some point, you'll see that massive break, right? Consistency, dedication, and some sort of like unwavering like resolution to not be broken by a chain of bad or disappointing results. It's hard. It is hard, but I promise you, it is going to be worth it. Okay. I'm going to talk y'all's ear off about A/B testing for a long time. I got about 5 to 6 minutes. I'm going to keep moving because we're almost there. Almost there. Okay, y'all, the last piece of this too is shipping campaigns that crush. And depending on where you're at with ever creating or planning for a true monthly giving campaign, there's a lot that can go into that, or you can keep it basic and minimum, right? But where do we start, really? And if you've ever done this, like there's so much that goes on. Think about ads, you think about copy, the emails, the landing pages or the donation pages, the blog and social content. Like, who do we segment this out to? Who do we reach out to? What's the focus of these campaigns? Is it new monthly donors? Is it a retaining monthly donors, or is it converting one-time donors to monthly donors? Like, there's a lot of complex things that can go into this. And you see my buddy sweating like often I do when I think about launching a new campaign. But it starts with the planning, y'all. And you don't have to have fancy tools to do this. You don't need like Asana, or I certainly use a Notion, which I love. But the end result is, why not just put ChatGPT to work or any AI tool? And so what you see here is kind of an example of what you could do if you wanted to. And here's another generic thing. It's going to give you like things to be considered, but it's not bespoke. It's not specific to y'all's mission. So you're going to spend some time, right? Or, what do you know? I just made this, literally finished it this morning. And this is designed to help you specifically start planning for your monthly giving campaign. It's not going to walk you through the execution pieces because that's a whole other thing, right? But this will get you started on the right foot. Now, this one is a baby. I've only tested it. I haven't had other people help to train it and effectively, like, use it. So this is where y'all come in. This is a you exclusive. Like, I made this for y'all. I'm going to drop it into the link right now. Do me a favor. Go check it out. Understand that it is new, like infant baby. Go use it. poke around, see if it's any good. I actually trained it and asked it to create downloadable spreadsheets for Google Sheets. Once you get to the final steps in like, hey, how do I set a budget? What goes into that? What text tools should I be using? How do I approach campaign planning for goals? Or in general, like, how do I even start this thing? That button on the far left will take you through a ridiculously detailed layout based on your experience with campaign planning. Whether you're starting, you kind of have some experience, or you're an expert, hopefully there's something for everyone. You could share it with anyone. I made this just for y'all. So it's not actually on our website. I haven't published this anywhere. Y'all go rock with that. Let me know how you like it, what I can improve, because I want this thing to improve 1%, right? Okay. This has been like borderline nerdy the whole time. You have the links here, y'all. And as we're cruising into the last 2 minutes, Kat, I'm on time. I deserve an award. idonate.com/ID Labs. I think Kat's had that pinned. No email required again. I'm not going to go hound you or bug you, but I am always available to come talk nerdy with and talk about GPT stuff, about how it can help your mission. I made it almost all the way without coughing. And then, so that goes there. So do me a favor. I'm going to cough again. Hit the cannons on the screen.
Yeah, so okay. Adam, we have about 10 minutes before we head back to the main stage for the closing. So we can take some questions, and it looks like you still have one exciting slide.
Yeah, I do. Okay, for those of you who have rocked with me this whole way through, Kat included, we actually maintain everyone somehow. But keep an eye on that to make sure we're not kind of shooting cans off in the distance with nothing to go for it. Y'all, thank you for the confettis. I want y'all to win. So here's how we're going to do this. If you miss it at the front end, we're doing giveaways. I love giveaways. So we're giving away 2 one-year Sustainers community memberships. And Kat, I may butcher this pitch. This is a VIP invite Slack channel where Dana shows up. I'm assuming you show up, and it's a community of nonprofit professionals focused on getting better throughout the course of the year on monthly giving. How did I pitch it?
You did a pretty good job. Yeah, peer-to-peer learning. Right now, we have almost 200 organizations in the Slack channel and growing. We have monthly live Q&As with experts and a lot more fun things coming this year, but a great place to learn and tell everyone what you're learning from these cool GPTs that Adam is linking us to, and figure out how to grow using ChatGPT together.
Sweet. And then $5 because I think I have a whole host of them coming my way, Kat, if I remember correctly. But here's how this is going to rock. Do there's 3 things you need to do. None of them includes your email, right? I need you to test out one of those GPTs we talked about. And I saw a note. No, these GPTs are all free to use, every single one of them. Go wreak havoc with them. Figure out what works for you, what doesn't. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And then shoot me a DM with just one thing that we could do to get better with these specific GPTs. The cool thing about these, it takes me literally seconds to make updates based on feedback to these. And the push to live is almost near instantaneous. It's such a phenomenal aspect here. So I'm going to do this. Kat's got the GPT landing page link. There's my LinkedIn profile. Go connect with me. My profile is a little different. You got to go to not the follow button, but there's a button that drops down and connects. I don't know, man. But connect with me, test out those GPTs, shoot me one thing that I could do to get better. And then what I'll do is I'll connect with Dana and Kat. I'll pull all this into a spreadsheet. I'm going to send it to them. I'll let them pick. I'm going to be completely unbiased in this aspect. And then you'll see it early next week. If you won, you'll see a DM from myself, and I'll include Dana on LinkedIn. That will tell you, hey, you won. And then Dana will take it over with Kat on terms of how to redeem the membership. I'll get you hooked up with the book directly, and then we'll rock it, right? Okay, cool. I got a lot of things I'm tracking, Kat. I think we have 8 minutes left, 9 minutes left, 7 minutes left. All right, I'm impressed. We made it all the way through. I did feel like I talked a bit fast. So again, this should be recorded, Kat, if I'm not mistaken, or at least some sort of that. Literally, this post with this deck is going live on LinkedIn for my profile in about 20 minutes, I think. I timed it. So you get access to all of that. And then all the links for the chat GPT should be in there. Y'all, what questions? I've got my full attention on the questions now. If you have one that you want to resurface, now's the time to drop it in while I'm looking. Or if you get really just antsy and want to click, go launch those confetti cannons, right? Other than that, Kat, did you learn anything? I guess we'll start there.
Well, I have a question for you. So you mentioned that your GPT is in beta. I'm sure you're always thinking about what GPTs you want to come up with next. Do you have a short list?
Yeah, I've got one that is proven to be way harder than I thought it would be.
Let's hear it.
So I'm on a mission to figure out how to do a real-time donation page optimization GPT, and that you plug in your donation page, it crawls it and actually compares it against best practices. And then starts to provide, hey, here's how you can improve X right here. So like adding a value prop. And then here's the statistical proven backing that you'll see in either conversions or revenue based on next after best practices, right? That is the vibes. Like that is where I'll be getting to in the next month or two. I'm almost about to pay someone to help me write it because it's a little bit more complex than just kind of training. You actually have to go do some fancy pants scripting, but that is the only next thing on my mind, at least for the next month. As soon as I get that, y'all, I'll be shooting that off of LinkedIn. Again, like all my silliness is on LinkedIn. So like if you connect with me, if anything, that's just get all the goods there. And it's free, which, emails, which is counterintuitive for marketing people sometimes, but that's how we rock it.
So I did want to direct people to go check out the Expo Room. You can also download Adam's presentation from yesterday if you missed it, directly from the Expo Room. And there is also an offer for iDonate that you can register your interest for, and Adam will be in touch with how to claim that offer.
Yeah, I think we're doing 30% off, or at least I think it's like first 3 months or 3 months free. If you mentioned that you saw me here or you were at the monthly giving summit, and then I'll be keeping an eye out for that. So by all means do that. And that unlocks access to our A/B testing tool, which is, in platform, no coding, which is pretty cool. So all the stuff I covered today is kind of rooted from what we do in our platform, which is cool. How long for you, the giveaway? We'll give it the weekend, Annabelle, and then I'll shut it down on Monday and then start rocking from there. The other thing we didn't touch on is really the ethics behind the usage of AI, which is very important to call it too. It's something on the minds of everyone. There's one particular organization, Fundraising AI, that is really pioneering and pushing for organizations and nonprofits and mission-driven organizations like iDonate to really think hard and consider how to use AI ethically. They have some really cool things where we can sign up and make a pledge and commit to ourselves. We're in the process of doing that for iDonate ourselves as we think about what comes next, right? That is kind of, to me, the shining example of leading in this industry with, I don't know if it's still cutting edge tech, but like it's been 2 years, but we'll consider cutting edge, where there's still so many unknowns. It's changing every week, it feels like. And I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the craziness. So, that's one thing to keep in mind from that perspective. And I think it's off of the question about traps. Don't put any social security numbers in there, Caroline. Don't put any banking routing numbers. Keep anything potentially sensitive information out of there. I'm hesitant to put any emails. I haven't done that. I won't probably, just because consider everything that you put in there. It's going to be grabbed and used to train other models. So that's something to consider. And that's something that, it's a big no-no if you're dealing with donor information. So when you can, and at all costs, use generic info when it's tied to people's names, people's email addresses, don't do it, right? Easy rule of thumb to continue with on that aspect. Another question, what would be a great GPT prompt where I could ask it to analyze other nonprofits' data in the industry and see what they're doing? I believe I've got that built into almost all of the ones I created. So it's pulling from the M&R benchmarks, which does some really good stuff across industries and mission-specific verticals, as well as, I think, to some extent, next after, right? But that'll give you a baseline. But if I'm thinking about it, I would start by explaining what my mission is. I always get super technical. I put in NTE codes. So there's a very clear understanding from GPT's perspective of where I sit for my mission. And then I outline something effective. I want to know what other nonprofits in this specific mission vertical are doing or performing. And then I'll actually go the next step over and say, here's a link to like the MNR benchmark report and give it the URL. And I say, can you show me this? And then usually it pumps out some good understanding of baseline information. Of course, again, you can get more specific. I should have most of that kind of stuff baked into most of my GPTs as well. You don't want to even mess with it. Not only do you have the prompts, but you can go ask it anything. And I've tested this thankfully, and it actually works pretty darn good. So, okay, I'm trying to keep up here. We got a couple of minutes left, 2 minutes.
One more question, and then we'll head back to the main stage.
Yeah. Oh, wow, Jen. Let's see. What's the elevator pitch you give to a board of directors who aren't AI cheerleaders yet, but you know how awesome it can be for organization? This comes into the it depends bucket, but I'm going to put my product marketing hat on from a marketing perspective, right? I'm leading with stories of where I saw success. I'm not going to mention it's AI at first, right? And, a good example is what I did with Veterans Without Orders, right? I literally turning around copy that was on brand and on mission within about 30 minutes of starting. It wasn't perfect, but it was like 95% close. And when someone asked me how in the world am I so efficient so fast, that's when I start to build like, hey, like I actually have done this with the help of ChatGPT, right? Because of the content that was put in, the hard work that was done beforehand, that's what made the output so good. That's how I'm leading it, right? Again, it's going to that persona work of who am I talking to? What do they care most about? Typically boards want to know that, hey, are we raising the funds to keep the lights on and push our mission forward? Do we have the tools, hopefully, for our employees and our nonprofit professionals to do their job efficiently? That kind of knocks it out of the park on both ends, right? So lead with the story of success, let them ask, and then bring in the fact that, hey, yeah, I used, as part of this, some AI tools to help me get this done quickly. Hopefully that helps. How I position it hasn't failed me yet, but then again, I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe I was talking too fast for anyone to understand.
I love that. I love leading with a success story. Thank you so much, Adam. And I donate for sharing all of this amazing, amazing information. I will make sure that everyone has these links. So go click on them. I've pinned them up to the top here. You can connect with Adam, scroll down below. His information is there. And like I said, check out the expo room for more information on